So, I wanted to have a discussion about why, as humanity, I think we're really afraid of passion. Passion is that place where you start to get out of control. Something very primal, something very strong, something very human and earthy and sensuous starts to take over. And I think sometimes that feeling is a little bit of an out of control feeling, and I think that that really frightens some people. As a retired professional ballet dancer, I think dancers and athletes kind of tend to dance on that edge between passion and control. And you train the body, train the body, train the body, train the body. And then there's a moment when you're performing that you have to trust the body and you have to completely surrender and you have to let something that's bigger than the control, bigger than your mind, bigger than the process that you're in, overwhelm you and move you sometimes in a way that you hadn't anticipated. And there's an energy that expands beyond your mind, expands beyond your knowing, and allows you to tap into the big microcosm of the universe. You become one with this pulsating life force energy that is sexuality, that is a part of Earth. And I think if you came to Earth, you came to learn passion. You came to want to understand passion and figure out how to move with it. But our weakness as humans is that we spend so much of our life trying to control our money and control our relationships and control how we are at work and control our behavior. And while I think control is an incredibly good discipline to have, I also think that you have to learn the opposite sometimes, and you have to learn surrender. And I think surrender is very frightening to a lot of people because they don't know what's on the other side of that. Sometimes they've never been in a situation where they had to completely open. And that's what surrender is about. It's about trusting the universe. It's about trusting your body. It's about trusting that there's an energy bigger than you that actually can show you something and take you to a place that you've never been before. And that's what also makes it really exciting. So I teach many workshops, but the one I wanted to talk about today is my Shades of Passion workshop, which is going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah, July 29th and 30th. It's going to be in Holiday, Utah. It is going to be at one of my friends' homes, a beautiful home in Holiday. And we're going to really dive into what is passion and where does that take us? Now, I want you to understand that this class is not quote sexual, though we are going to be talking about sexual energy and we're going to be using energy yogically to try and access places within us and kind of feel into those edges. I've been teaching this class for many years, and one of the pieces of feedback that I oftentimes get from the men is that they say, wow, I've never been around a woman who is as open in communication related to sexuality and what her experience is and what has worked and what has not worked ever in my life. And I think that I want to teach this class and I want to show women and men what can happen when you can have somebody around you that is absolutely willing to have the conversation, is not embarrassed by the conversation, is not embarrassed about their own sexuality, is not embarrassed about what works and what doesn't work and what they like and what they don't like, because how are you supposed to know? I oftentimes think that I feel really bad for men sometimes because I think every woman is so different sexually as to what's going to work for her and what's not going to work. And I think it's a miracle that any man figures it out at all. And in this class, I'd like to give you some ideas. I'd like to give you some ideas and some hints on how to move your energy and how to work with that energy, how to listen to another person's energy through sound, breath, and movement, how to stay connected to her or him through sound, breath, and movement. Because sometimes what happens is you can get so self-indulgent, you can get so much in your own passion that you forget that you're a we in that moment rather than a me. And that it is that energy that is combining that can take you off the edge of your own self and identity and your own perception and take you into a deeper place. I think that every person that I have had as a partner and that I've been intimate with has taught me something. I think that each person has unique gifts and skills and talents, and they're not all the same. And that's what makes it so exciting and wonderful. So I hope that you are willing to take a risk, and I hope that you're willing to trust yourself in that inner intuition and trust me to kind of step a little bit deeper. And again, we're not going off an edge. We're actually just stepping into a conversation of depth, because in the tantric world, you really are not supposed to do anything in a sexual level until you can actually have the conversation, or you can have a guided visualization of that and you can move through that, and so you can see what inside of you is healing by that fantasy or by that guided visualization. And only once you get all the pieces of information and you understand yourself, then you can kind of take it more into a physical realm. In this workshop, Shades of Passion, we are tiptoeing we're tiptoeing into the elements of passion, and we're going to dissect it, and we're going to look at all the pieces and why those pieces are there. I think a lot of times people go, well, why does he want that, or why does she want that? And I go, that's a great question. Let's find out why people want certain things. Let's have that discussion, because I find that we're all seeking parts of ourself that we have lost, or parts of ourself that have been wounded or damaged, or parts of ourself we have forgotten or have lost touch with. If you're willing to dive in and discover places you didn't know you had, or places you always wondered if they were there, this might be the workshop for you. Join us. Shades of Passion, July 29th and 30th, Salt Lake City, Utah. Thanks.